back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your life's going well. Hope this week has gone well for you, and I hope that today has gone well for you. Today is Saturday, May the 4th, 2024. It is about 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you all had a great Saturday. I hope it's been a productive Saturday. I hope it's been a fun Saturday. I hope you were able to go out and enjoy time with your friends, family, travel, do any sort of hobby that you like. I hope that you're able to do something that makes you happy this weekend, because the weekend is your time to better yourself, to relax yourself, to just unwind from the daily stresses that work, the weekdays in general, provide. I'm actually doing good myself. I went over to my old apartment and deep cleaned it and made sure that I didn't leave anything, and I turned in the key, and that was that. So yeah, the reason I'm actually in this room right now is because the thing about this apartment is that sometimes when the people that live above me are walking around, you can really hear the footsteps, and it's very prevalent when I'm out in the living room. So I'm actually doing this video from my room, pretty much the bedroom. I just kind of moved all my stuff in here and set it all up, and there we have it. It wasn't really hard, but I almost tripped over one of my cords. I kind of have to come up with a plan here. Maybe I should just wait until the noise above me stops, because the thing about the footsteps from above me is that you can hear them like in the microphone, and so it's like I don't want that being picked up by the microphone, and so I was like, okay, well, let me just bring all my stuff in here. That's why the background looks different, but yeah, it was cool. I had a cool day today. What I want to talk about is living in a truck, whether it's a semi truck, whether it's a van, car, really any kind of vehicle. Living in a vehicle, that's what I want to talk about. Some of the things that you have to keep in mind about living in a vehicle, right? And I think I can speak on this because I lived in a semi truck before, when I did regional work. And so you basically have to live in the truck. And when you're a truck driver and you're not home every day, you don't have one of these local jobs, you're going to be out on the road, whether it's regional, over the road, and you're going to have to find a way to live in that semi truck. Here's some of the things that you have to keep in mind about living in a vehicle, whether it's a semi, van, car. You're in a way living rent-free, unless you're financing that vehicle. The good thing is you are living rent-free. If you're living in a semi truck, you're basically making money. You're living rent-free, and you're making decent paychecks. And so this is why you see a lot of people that get in the truck and they do over the road, regional. They get rid of their home, apartment, just save money, for however long they want to do it. This can be good because one thing you have to realize is that rent is expensive. And so a lot of people are not even out of just curiosity. They're living in vehicles out of necessity. And so you have to realize you will be able to save money if you have a decent job and you decide that you want to live in a vehicle. Another thing about living in a vehicle is, well, this applies more to semi trucks, but you can set up a van to where you have some of these amenities. A lot of semi trucks have refrigerators in them nowadays, with the little mini freezer. Now it's a little tiny refrigerator, but hey, it's still better than nothing. It'll keep your fruits and vegetables cold, and you'll have healthy food while you're out there on the road. So a lot of them also have TV mounts. A lot of them have like a little tray table thing that folds out. Now you can kind of set this up in a regular vehicle. It'll take a little work, or you could pay somebody to do it, but it's definitely doable. Also, a lot of times the mattress is a normal twin size mattress, so it's not like you're gonna be just completely cramped in a semi truck. Now for vans, it's a bit different. I'm pretty sure if you want a setup like that, you're gonna have to buy like an extra big van, right? That can fit a twin size mattress, so you'll actually be comfortable when you sleep. A lot of semi trucks have an auxiliary power unit, which is basically used to it's used to power the truck, give you power for any sort of amenities that you might have, such as a fridge or whatever you have, TV. Now vans, I don't know how you can connect an APU, auxiliary power unit, to a van, but it's something to look into if you're going to do that, right? One thing that you have to have if you're planning on living in a vehicle is you have to have the right mindset, and you have to have a plan. You don't want to just kind of jump in this without the right mindset and the right plan, because if you don't have the right mindset and the right plan, you're in for a rude awakening mentally, right? You have to remember you're living in a space that is, at least for when I lived in a semi truck, it's a space that is about the size of your average walk-in closet. It's not very big, and so that's something that you have to think about before you jump into the whole living in a semi, living in a vehicle, car, whatever. I mean, obviously a car is going to be a lot smaller, but kind of the same concept. Your mindset has to be there. You have to want to actually do this. You have to have a plan too. You have to have an exit strategy, because obviously this isn't something that's going to be sustainable forever. Like, no one wants to live in a space that small forever, right? Unless you're, I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. You might have somebody that wants to do this forever, but most people are going to do this to save money. And there's some people that might have to do this out of necessity, and so you have to have the right mindset. You have to have the right plan, and you just might be okay. You have to think about space. Like I say, when it comes to a semi truck, and you're a truck driver, you're living in this semi truck, it's not very big. You're living in a van, it's not very big. You have to think about the space. You have to think about the fact that you might have to put a lot of your stuff in a storage unit. And you have to think about the fact that, okay, now you have to pay rent for the storage unit every month, and you have to factor that into your budget. Also, if you're not buying a van cash, remember, You have to make that monthly payment on the van as well. And so, and then remember too, if you're not buying it cash, you have to have full coverage on that van, which means your insurance may be higher. These are just things you have to think about. Now, if you're in a semi truck, you probably don't have to worry about that. You're actually going to be making money. And it's a company vehicle, like a semi truck. That's a company vehicle. So you're essentially, in a way, being paid to live in a semi truck, because that's kind of what you have to do this job. Regional over the road trucking. But for a van, you have to kind of think of those things. Just think about the fact that you may become claustrophobic and you're going to want to get out of that vehicle. So some days you might want to go out and get a hotel room, and just enjoy the basic amenities of life. Hotel room, you got a shower, you got more space, right? Fridge, and you got the fridge in your vehicle, but fridge would probably be bigger in a hotel room. I would say if you're gonna do that, you might want to get an extended stay room, because at least the fridge will usually be bigger and it'll feel more like a home versus a hotel room. If you're gonna go out and get a room, right? Something you have to think about is living in a vehicle, you won't have access to a shower. You won't have access to a dishwasher, full-size fridge, etc. Some of the things that you're probably used to having if you're living in a normal home or an apartment, you have to think about these things. Do you want to give those things up? Do you want to have to search for a place to take a shower every night? Now, some people get gym memberships and whatever. Some people just go to truck stops. You have to find a way to take a shower, because you're not going to have that living in a vehicle. So that's something you have to think about as well. And that's part of coming up with the plan as well, right? But at the end of the day, it's doable. It's doable. A lot of people are trying to, they're looking into not mindset. They're looking into living in a vehicle, whether it's becoming a trucker and just giving up their apartment, or just giving up their apartment and buying a vehicle. They're looking into this lifestyle, right? And as rent becomes more expensive, houses become more out of reach for people, and this is what people are having to do, and it's very unfortunate that there's people that are in a situation where they have to do this. Now, there's people in a situation where they don't have to do this, and they just want to kind of get away from the whole, I guess you could say, just being stuck in one location, being locked into a lease, or being locked into a mortgage. People kind of want to get away from that sort of deal. And so I believe in the coming future, you're going to have more and more people looking into this sort of lifestyle of living in a vehicle. I think 10, 20, 30 years ago, if you said you want to live in a vehicle, people would kind of look at you like, what? You have people that look at you kind of different or whatever. But nowadays, as things get more and more expensive, we're going to see more and more people looking at this as an option, right? And I think back to my days of when I lived in a semi-truck. It was cool, but usually after about 5 days, I was ready to go home. And since I was regional, that was about when I went home anyway, 5 days, 6 days out. And I was going home. That's why I kept my apartment, even though I kind of wish I would have gave up my apartment, because I realized if I just came home and got like a hotel room, it would have been cheaper than paying rent when I'm only home for however many days. I was home a month. It was usually less than 8. But I mean, yeah, we have to think about these things, right? If you're only home for what, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, what's the point of an apartment when you can live in a vehicle and save money? Even if you work a normal job, if you live in a van, right, you can save money. But you have to think about these different things that I talked about. And most importantly, you have to have a mindset, you have to have a plan and an exit strategy, because this isn't really the most sustainable lifestyle. So yeah, like I say, something to think about. Something to think about. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you're relaxed, of course, and yeah, I hope I inspired a thought as well. Thanks for watching.